Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Data Playbook. Today we have our Week 15 Sunday games, and unfortunately I didn't get all the changes that I wanted to in for today, but we'll just stick with our regular data, so let's get right to it. Next up, we have another big divisional game with Buffalo going to New England, where Buffalo is favored on the money line with a spread of 1.5 and a total line of 48.5. Here's the team's seasonal averages, and looking at the rankings, you have Buffalo with a pretty good offense with a scoring rate of 6, a passing rate of 11, the best in the league at rushing at 1, and the second best in the league at using their tight ends at number 2. Defensively, they're also pretty good with an allowed scoring rate of 14, allowed passing rate of 1, best in the league at stopping the pass. An allowed rushing rate of 28 falls a little short, but then still a pretty good allowed tight end rate of 2. For the Patriots, you also have a pretty good offense with a scoring rate of 7, a passing rate of 2, a rushing rate of 20, which is the worst rank offensively, and a tight end rate of 6. Defensively, it's a little bit more consistently higher, with an allowed scoring rate of 5, allowed passing rate of 13, allowed rushing rate of 3, and then an allowed tight end rate of 22. Moving into our individual data, you have Josh Allen and Drake May for your quarterbacks, with Allen averaging 23.8 fantasy points per game, and Drake May averaging just under 20 fantasy points per game. There's their seasonal averages. Along with their turnovers, you have Josh Allen at 10 interceptions this season so far, and 2 rushing fumbles lost. And then you have Drake May at 6 interceptions, with 2 fumbles lost due to sacks. In terms of how these quarterbacks are utilized in the rushing game, you have Josh Allen at 22.1% of the rushing carry share, and 24.1% of the rushing yard share. And then you have Drake May at 22.5% of the rushing carry share, and 22% of the rushing yard share. Next, for our running backs, you have James Cook and Ramondre Stevenson, with Cook averaging just over 18 fantasy points per game, and Stevenson averaging just about 8.8. There's your seasonal averages, and you have James Cook this season with 3 rushing fumbles lost, and Stevenson also has 2 rushing fumbles as well as a receiving fumble. Moving into their charts, you have James Cook at 63.2% of the rushing carry share and 64.7% of the rushing yard share. And over here you have Stevenson at 28.1% of the rushing carry share and 22.4% of the rushing yard share. That's a little lower because he's been out. And so that's why over here you have Henderson with quite a large amount because he took over for a while. But other than that, your quarterbacks do end up being quite a large portion as well. For your receivers, you have Khalil Shakir and Stephon Diggs, with Shakir averaging 10.6 fantasy points per game and Diggs averaging 11.7. There's their seasonal averages, and the only turnover comes from Shakir with 1 receiving fumble. Looking at their share, you have Shakir at 21.1% of the target share and 18.8% of the receiving yard share, and then you have Diggs at 21.5% of the target share and 20.7% of the receiving yard share. For both receivers, that's the largest portions on both their teams. For your number 2 receivers, you have Josh Palmer and Kayshon Boutte, with Palmer averaging 5.6 fantasy points per game and Boutte averaging 10.3. Moving over for your seasonal averages, and with no turnovers, we're going to go straight to the charts. So if you need to look at this information in more detail, go ahead and give the video a pause. But otherwise, you have Josh Palmer at 7.8% of the target share and 8.7% of the receiving yard share. And then you have Boutte at 10.3% of the target share and 14.1% of the receiving yard share. Finally, with the tight ends, you have Dalton Kincaid and Hunter Henry, with Kincaid averaging 12.4 fantasy points per game and Henry averaging 10.5. With no turnovers, we'll just look at their averages and then move straight into the charts, where you have Kincaid with 11.1% of the target share and 15.7% of the receiving yard share, and then you have Hunter Henry with 18.8% of the target share and 17.9% of the receiving yard share on New England. So just wrapping up with some of the notable items, it is interesting to note that you have this allowed passing rank of 1 versus this passing rank of 2, so we'll have to see who ends up winning in the passing game there. You also have a passing rank of 11 for Buffalo against an allowed passing rank of 13, so pretty close there as well. And then similar for the rushing game, where you have a rushing rank of 1 here against the allowed rushing rank of 3. So we'll see if New England can put a stop to their rushing game and utilize much of their rushing game against an allowed rushing rank of 28. The biggest one might be this tight end rank of 2 against this allowed tight end rank of 22. So Buffalo might really be able to carve them up with Kincaid. And otherwise, the other notable one is this scoring rank of 7 against this allowed scoring rank of 14. Because otherwise you have an allowed scoring rank of 5 here for New England against a scoring rank of 6 for Buffalo, making that very close. So the other odd one is that New England has a better scoring rank against a worse allowed scoring rank. So they might have the advantage in scoring if they can get it into the end zone. And in the end, whoever really ends up winning these matchups, as close as they are, is who's going to win the game. And there's all your pregame data. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment on what else you'd want to see in the future. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.